The Big Mess. A story of our world. The sun shone. The sky was blue. The air was clean. Birds sang in the trees. This was a good world. People lived here. Animals lived here. Fish lived in the water. The water was clean. Flowers grew on the land. The land was clean. Then things change. Many cars came. The cars made smoke. Black smoke went into the air. The air became dirty. More and more cars came. More smoke came. The sky was not always blue. Sometimes it was gray. People breathed the dirty air. It was not good. Little children coughed. Old people coughed. The trees got dirty. Their leaves were not green and clean. They had black dust. Birds flew, but the air was dirty. They did not sing so much. The dirty air was a big problem. Big factories came. Many factories. They made many things. They also made smoke. The smoke went up, up, up into the sky. It mixed with the car smoke. Now the air was very dirty. Air pollution was big, very big. People walked outside. They saw the dirty air. They smelt the dirty air. The dirty air went everywhere. It went to the mountains. It went to the forests. Animals in the forests also breathed the dirty air. This was not good for them. The air pollution made the world sad. We need clean air. Clean air is important. Now, let's talk about water. Rivers flowed. Rivers were clean. People could drink from rivers. Fish swam in rivers. Many kinds of fish. Small fish and big fish. All fish were happy. The water in the sea was also clean. The sea was big and blue. People swam in the sea. They played in the sea. The sea was fun. But then things change. People threw rubbish into the rivers. They threw plastic bottles. They threw plastic bags. They threw old things. The rivers became dirty. The water was not clean. It was brown. Fish in the rivers got sick. Some fish died. They could not live in dirty water. People could not drink the water anymore. It was bad water. Animals near the rivers could not drink the water. They looked for other water. Water pollution was starting. It was a bad thing for the world. The rubbish from the rivers went to the sea. All the plastic went to the sea. The sea became dirty. Big pieces of plastic floated. Small pieces of plastic floated. Fish in the sea ate the plastic. They thought it was food. But it was not food. Many fish got sick. Many fish died. The sea animals were in danger. Birds that ate fish also got sick. They ate fish with plastic inside. People could not swim in the dirty sea. It was not safe. The blue sea became gray and dirty. Water pollution was everywhere. We need clean water. Fish need clean water. People need clean water. Now, let's talk about the land. The land was green. Many trees grew. Many flowers grew. Farmers grew food on the land. They grew vegetables. They grew fruit. The soil was good. It was clean soil. The food grew well. Animals lived on the land. Rabbits and foxes. Many insects. They had homes. But then things change. People threw rubbish on the land. They threw old papers. They threw old clothes. They threw many plastic things. The land became dirty. There was rubbish everywhere. The soil became dirty. The rubbish stayed there for a long time. Plastic does not go away. It stays and stays. Trees could not grow well in dirty soil. Flowers could not grow. The green land became brown and dirty. This was land pollution. Farmers had problems. Their soil was not clean. They used things to make the food grow fast. These things were sometimes bad. These things went into the soil. They made the soil even more dirty. The food grew in dirty soil. When people ate the food, it was not good. Animals also ate from the dirty land. They got sick. The land pollution was a big problem. Very big. We need clean land. We need clean soil. We need clean food. So, the air was dirty. The water was dirty. The land was dirty. This was the big mess. A big mess for our world. People saw the dirty air. They saw the dirty water. They saw the dirty land. They felt sad. The world was not like before. The sky was not always blue. The rivers were not always clean. The fields were not always green. What could people do? Could they help? Some people started to think. We need to make our world clean again, they said. We need to stop the smoke. We need to stop the rubbish. It was a big job. A very big job, but it was important. Our home is the earth. We must take care of our home. Let's think about air first. Less cars could help. People could walk. People could ride bikes. Bikes do not make smoke. Walking does not make smoke. Less smoke means cleaner air. This is a good idea. Factories could make less smoke. New factories could be clean. They could have special filters. Filters stop the smoke. Clean air is for everyone. For people, for animals, for trees. Trees are important. They help make air clean. We need to plant more trees. Many more trees. Trees take the bad air. They give good air. So, planting trees is a very good idea for clean air. Now, about water. People must not throw rubbish in rivers. People must not throw rubbish in the sea. Rubbish must go in special bins. Recyclable rubbish must go to recycling. Plastic is a big problem. Less plastic means less rubbish. We can use bags that are not plastic. We can use bottles that are not plastic. This helps the rivers. This helps the sea. This helps the fish. Clean water for fish. Clean water for animals. Clean water for people. It is important to remember, water is life. We need clean water to live. We must protect our rivers and our seas. Now, about the land. People must not throw rubbish on the land. All rubbish must go to the bin. We can recycle paper. We can recycle glass. We can recycle plastic. Recycling is good for the land. It means less rubbish. Less rubbish means cleaner land. Farmers can use good ways to grow food. Ways that do not hurt the soil. They can use natural things for the soil. Not bad chemicals. Clean soil means good food. Good food means healthy people. We need to keep our land clean. For animals, for plants, for our food. The world needs help. Everyone can help. Small actions make a big difference. A child can put rubbish in the bin. A family can recycle. A person can ride a bike instead of a car. These are small things, but many small things make a big change. Imagine a world with clean air. The sky is always blue. Imagine a world with clean water. The rivers are clear. The sea is sparkling. Imagine a world with clean land. The fields are green. Many flowers grow. This is the world we want. A clean world. A good world. The smoke from the factories was very dark. It went high. It made the clouds gray. The sun could not always shine brightly. The dirty air blocked the sun. Birds flew through the dirty air. Their feathers became dull. They felt the bad air. Children played outside. They ran and jumped, but the dirty air made them tired. The air pollution problem grew bigger each day. Every new car, every new factory, added to the problem. The air was heavy. It was hard to breathe sometimes. This was not the air for a healthy life. Healthy life needs clean air. The rivers carried the rubbish far. To the big sea. The plastic bottles, the plastic bags. They danced on the waves. But it was not a good dance. It was a dance of destruction. Fish swallowed the tiny pieces of plastic. They did not know it was not food. Big fish ate small fish. The plastic went up the food chain. Dolphins and whales swam in the dirty sea. They could get caught in big nets of plastic. The sea was dying slowly. The clean blue sea was changing. The beaches were covered in rubbish. People could not walk barefoot. No fun on the beach. Only sadness from the dirty water. Water pollution hurt all life in the sea. It hurt life on land too. On the land, the rubbish piles grew. They smelled bad. Flies came to the rubbish. Rats came to the rubbish. It was not a nice place. Not a nice place for anyone. The soil under the rubbish became very bad. Nothing could grow there. It was a dead place. A place without life. Chemicals from old batteries and broken things went into the soil. These chemicals made the soil toxic. Very toxic. The trees nearby started to wither. Their leaves fell. The land pollution stole the beauty of nature. It stole the home of many small animals. Our beautiful land was becoming a wasteland. The problem was not just in one place. It was everywhere. In big cities, the air was often thick with smoke. In small villages, rubbish was sometimes thrown into rivers. In the countryside, old tires were left on the land. The world was suffering. Our world. But people started to wake up. They saw the mess. They heard the birds cough. They saw the fish die. They smelled the dirty land. They knew something had to change. It had to change now. Children drew pictures of a clean world. They drew blue skies and green trees. They drew clean rivers with happy fish. They drew parks without any rubbish. They wanted this world, their future world. Their parents listened. Their teachers taught them. Clean choices are good choices. Using less, reusing more, recycling everything possible. These were the simple rules. Rules for a cleaner world. New ideas for factories came. To make them cleaner. New cars came. Cars that made less smoke. Or no smoke at all. Electric cars became more common. They were good for the air. Solar panels on houses made clean electricity. This was good for the air too. Little by little, the air started to get a bit cleaner. The sky was a little bit more blue. People could breathe a little bit better. It was a slow change. But it was a good change. For water, people organized cleanup days. They went to the rivers. They went to the beaches. They picked up plastic. They picked up rubbish. Many people helped. Many hands made light work. The rivers started to look a little bit better. The beaches were a little bit cleaner. The fish in the sea had a little less plastic to eat. It was a start. A small start for a big problem. Every piece of plastic removed was a victory. Clean water is precious. We must save it. For the land, communities worked together. They made recycling points everywhere. They taught people about composting organic waste. This turned food scraps into good soil for plants. Less rubbish went to the big landfills. More land was saved from being dirty. Farmers learned to grow food in natural ways. Without bad chemicals, keeping the soil clean and healthy. Their food tasted better. It was good for people. The land started to heal. The green came back. Flowers bloomed where rubbish once lay. It was a long journey. The world was still not perfectly clean. But the journey had begun. People were working together. For the air, for the water, for the land. For all living things. For their future. The earth is our home. We must be its protectors. Not its polluters, but its protectors. Every choice we make has an impact. A good choice makes a good impact. A bad choice makes a bad impact. We need to choose good. Choose clean. Choose life. The sun still shines. The sky can be blue. The air can be clean again. The rivers can flow pure. The sea can sparkle blue. The land can be green and full of life. This is the hope. This is the dream. A dream of a cleaner world. For everyone. For you. For me. For the animals. For the trees. Let's make this dream a reality. Let's make our world clean again. No more dirty air. No more dirty water. No more dirty land. Only clean. Only good. Only life. The factories began to change their ways. They installed new machines. These machines could clean the smoke. The smoke that came out was less dark. Sometimes it was almost invisible. This was a good step. Workers in the factories learned new methods. They learned to make less waste. They learned to be more careful with materials. This meant fewer harmful things went into the air. Fewer harmful things went into the water. It was a big change for many old factories. More and more people bought electric cars. The sound of the city changed. It was quieter. The smell of the city changed too. There was less exhaust fumes. The air in the cities became noticeably cleaner. Children could play longer outside without coughing. Older people felt better when they walked in the park. The change in air quality was slow but steady. Every breath felt a little bit better. The government helped. They made new rules. Rules for factories to be cleaner. Rules for cars to be cleaner. Rules for people to manage their rubbish. These rules were important. They pushed everyone to do better. They made it easier to make good choices. They encouraged people to recycle. They encouraged people to use less plastic. New technologies appeared. Machines that could clean plastic from the sea. Large ships went out. They collected the floating plastic islands. It was a huge task. The sea was vast. But with effort, parts of the sea began to clear. The fish had a better chance. The birds had a better chance. Divers could see the blue water again. The sea was starting to breathe again. On land, special places were made for rubbish. Not just big dumps, but places where rubbish could be sorted. Glass here, paper there, plastic in another spot. Then these materials went to special places to be reused. Old plastic became new plastic bottles. Old paper became new books. This was called recycling. It was a clever way to save resources and keep the land clean. The farms that once used many bad chemicals started to grow food differently. They used natural compost. They planted different crops together to help the soil. They understood that healthy soil makes healthy food. The food they grew was organic. It was good for people and good for the land. The earthworms came back to the soil. They are good for the soil. Life returned to the land. Children learned about pollution in school. They drew pictures of solutions. They told their parents. They became little environmentalists. They understood that their actions matter. They picked up rubbish in the park. They reminded their parents to turn off lights. They were the future, and they wanted a clean future. The story of the world was changing. It was no longer just a story of a big mess. It was becoming a story of hope. A story of people working together. A story of healing. The air, the water, the land were slowly recovering. It was a long journey, but every day brought a little more cleanliness. Every day brought a little more hope. The sun shone brighter. The sky was often a clear, beautiful blue. The air smelled fresh after rain. Birds sang loudly in the trees. The trees were green and strong. People walked with smiles. They felt the good air. They enjoyed the clean world. The rivers sparkled under the sun. Clear water flowed quickly. Fish swam easily. Children played near the rivers. They saw small fish. They learned about the river ecosystem. The sea waves brought clean foam to the shore. No more plastic on the beaches. People built sandcastles. They swam in the blue sea. The water was life once more. The land was rich and vibrant. Fields of green crops waved in the wind. Flowers of many colors bloomed. Bees flew from flower to flower. The forests were dense and full of animal sounds. Rabbits hopped freely. Foxes roamed without fear. The soil was full of nutrients. It was good for everything that grew. The land was a thriving home for all. This was the new chapter. A chapter of caring. A chapter of responsibility. A chapter where people understood their connection to the earth. They understood that a clean planet is a happy planet. A healthy planet is a healthy life. The big mess was not gone completely, but it was being managed. It was being fixed. Every person understood their part. To keep the air clean. To keep the water clean. To keep the land clean. It was a shared goal. A goal for generations. The earth sighed a breath of relief. Our home was safe again. The future looked bright. The world was learning to be clean, learning to be good. The wind blew clean across the fields. It carried no smoke. It carried no bad smells. The children could play outside all day. They could run and not feel the sting of dirty air in their lungs. This was a gift of clean air for everyone. The sky above was a vast, open blue. White clouds drifted peacefully. It was a picture of serenity. The rivers flowed to the sea, carrying only clean water. The water cycle was pure. Rain fell from clean clouds, nourishing the land and filling the rivers. This clean water was vital. It was life for the trees, for the animals, and for the people. When people drank the water, it was fresh and good. There was no fear of sickness. Clean water meant healthy communities. The land was cared for like a garden. Every small piece of rubbish was picked up. Every plastic bottle found a recycling bin. The soil was rich. It was dark and fertile. It smelled of earth and rain. Farmers respected the land. They knew it gave them food. They knew it was their livelihood. They worked with nature, not against it. The land responded with abundance. This renewed sense of responsibility spread. From one town to another. From one country to another. People shared ideas. They shared solutions. The earth was a shared home. And everyone had a part in keeping it clean. It was a global effort. A global movement for a cleaner planet. The language was simple. Clean is good, dirty is bad. And everyone understood this language. The factories improved even further. They found ways to reuse their own waste. They made products that lasted longer. Products that could be repaired. Products that were easy to recycle. This reduced the need for new materials from the earth. It reduced the amount of waste. Innovation for cleanliness was key. People learned to value things more. To buy less. To choose wisely. To repair instead of replace. This mindset helped reduce the overall consumption. Less consumption meant less production. Less production meant less smoke, less dirty water, less dirty land. It was a cycle of good choices. The fish in the sea were plentiful again. Many species returned to the once polluted waters. Coral reefs, damaged by pollution, slowly began to regrow. They brought vibrant colors back to the underwater world. Divers swam among colorful fish and healthy corals. They saw a beautiful, thriving ecosystem. The ocean was alive and full of wonder. On land, animal habitats were restored. Forests grew dense and provided homes for many creatures. Birds built nests in clean trees. Small mammals scurried through green undergrowth. The balance of nature was slowly returning. The sounds of nature, once muted by machines and pollution, became clear and strong again. The change was profound. It wasn't just about cleaning up the mess. It was about changing hearts and minds. It was about understanding that everything is connected. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, all come from this earth. And if the earth is dirty, we become dirty too. So the story of the big mess turned into the story of the great cleanup. A story of resilience. A story of hope. A story of a world that decided to take its future into its own hands. To nurture its home. To cherish its planet. And as the years passed, the children who drew pictures of a clean world grew up. They lived in that clean world. They taught their own children the same lessons. The lessons of respect for the earth. The lessons of responsibility. The lessons of love for nature. The sun always shone, or when clouds came, they brought clean rain. The air was always fresh. The water was always pure. The land was always bountiful. This was the world they had built. A beautiful, clean, healthy world. A good world for all. This was a world where the air was clean for every breath. Where the water was clean for every drink. Where the land was clean for every seed to grow. A world where life thrived. A testament to human will, community cooperation, and love for our earth. It was a good place. Our clean, beautiful world.